Hi, my name is Sarah, and I will be your instructor this semester for Intro to GIS. And please forgive me as I look around the screen for the best place to put my eyes. This is still new to me, how to record myself. At any rate, I wanted you to put a face to a name and to sort of also line up my expectations for this semester, just generally, and also to let you know a little bit about myself. So to start, the first thing to know is that this class is held as an asynchronous class, which means that there are no live lectures and there's no expectation that you would have to arrive online and do something kind of with me over a Zoom session or something. Um, the next thing to note is that you absolutely have to have the textbook. I guess that kind of goes without saying, except that it always bears worth repeating because sometimes textbooks can be a little tricky and hard to find, although I don't really think they are, because I recommend you get the ebook, and I think the ebook is great. It's cheaper. You can do keyword searches, and you don't have to carry a book around with you. The other thing you absolutely need, and this will take a little bit of work if you haven't already started the process, is access to CWC's Esri organizational account, as well as access to ArcGIS Pro. Now, if you're going to get ArcGIS Pro on your own laptop, you will have to have that CWC Esri account because that is how we give you the license to get Arc Pro on your own machine. On the other hand, if you're going to be using the computers at the school, you don't need to get the Arc Pro downloaded, but you still need the Esri account because that's how you will log into Arc Pro when you use it. The other thing to note is that Mara Gans will be having a live and in-person lab support session every Wednesday from 10:30 to noon at the Lander Center. If it suits your schedule, I highly recommend going. It's a great way to sort of start to unpack the labs as they start getting more complicated. And it can be good to just have a little bit of in-person support. And if you do choose to go, I highly recommend doing all of the reading questions before you go and don't save them for that part because the labs, again, will start getting more complicated and will take some time. Another class policy I like to bring up is the fact that I don't have a late policy. This is because, for a variety of reasons. One is that the material gets increasingly complicated, and if you don't keep up, you will fall behind. And if you fall behind, it's harder to catch up. It's kind of self-policing, I think. I realized a few years ago that there was no point in me chasing people around giving 10% off for a grade when something was late, when I was like, you're just not going to do well in the class if you don't do your work. I mean, there's nothing that I can really do, no magic wand. And the other thing is that life gets in the way sometimes. I mean, I understand maybe your flight got delayed due to weather for 5 hours and your weekend got screwed up. You got the flu. You had to travel for a family emergency. Things happen. It's okay. You don't have to turn the work in when it's due. And a brief word about due dates. I have due dates. We talk about due dates, but those are sort of a way for you and I to both organize the flow of the class, less about you have to have it in, more like this is when the material changes over and when we're going to get started on a new section. So everything is due on Sundays, and on Monday mornings, the next chapter and the next week of material opens up. So really, it's an organizational point as opposed to a hard deadline. But again, meeting deadlines is really something you as a student and as an adult have to sort of figure out and see how you're going to integrate it into your schedule. And kind of related to that is also my own take on the class format, which is that to say that I have taken online classes before as an adult learner. And the thing that I hated about some classes and loved about the others was that I did not like when there was no predictability. Like if it was sort of all of a sudden I saw, oh, there's this assignment due in the middle of the week, or there's this other assignment due on a Saturday when everything's due on a Sunday. I was like, that just messed with me. I couldn't hold it in my brain because I'm here trying to do other stuff, work, childcare, other things. So what I like to do is everything's due on a Sunday. And it's generally the same kind of assignments, which sometimes can sound like it's boring, but again, there's variety within those. But I think that's helpful for online learning in this remote platform because having some predictability means that you know what to expect with your scheduling. So that's a little bit about the format, some of the bigger points I wanted to draw out. There's more detail on the Start Here module on Canvas, which of course you need to read through. Again, it's not onerous, but read through it. And there's a little quiz on it too. Last but not least, a little bit about me. So I've been teaching this class for 8 years now, going on 9. And the first time I taught this, I actually taught it in person at the Lander Center, and my husband and I lived in the little tiny cabins at the ASI. Since then, I've been teaching remotely from, well, for many years, it was from my home base in California in Long Beach. But last year, last August, my husband and son and I moved to London, where we currently live. So I am teaching this class and administering it and doing all the things for it from London in time zone 7 hours ahead of your own. I have a husband and a 6-year-old son, and life is busy, and we love to go on country walks and explore the city. Other than that, it's just a little insight about me. If you ever have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. I am the central organizing person for the class, but your in-person kind of cheerleader is Mara Gans, and she will always be there for you to help you in person when you need it to. So I look forward to this semester. GIS is really exciting. It's a whole new way of seeing the world. And the more you get into it, the more you're going to kind of just start seeing everything in vectors and lines and pixels. And it becomes a little weird, but also fun. So, okay, that's all for now. Thanks and have a great day.